Steve. Let's talk Georgia recruiting because there is a big visit weekend in Athens as the Dogs take on the Auburn Tigers, and we got a 5-star on campus. We're talking defensive lineman Justice Terry. He headlines a really impressive group that's going to be visiting for this noon kickoff. Let us know what you think, what you see, and who's important.
Well, I think that Georgia's the clear team to beat for Justice Terry. Alabama's trying to make it interesting down the stretch here. But the Bulldogs, Trey Scott, the feel that he gets around the program, the brotherhood of the players, just how comfortable he is in Athens. He's a one-time Georgia commit. I think this is a recruitment that's still trending towards coming back full circle. Defensive line's always important for Kirby Smart and company every cycle. And they monitor guys that are having great senior years with traits. And you look at Christian Ingram, Jeremiah McLeod, who's committed to Florida, Joseph Mabachu, who's also committed to Florida. Those are 3 traitsy defensive linemen that are going to be at this ball game this weekend. Christian Ingram, he might be a Clemson lean right now. And there's some other programs certainly coming into the mix for Ingram as well. You got Alabama, Florida State, to name a couple others. But big visit to Georgia this weekend. Jeremiah McLeod, he's already been to one Georgia game this year. He could see himself at Georgia, talking to him in the past, and then things are really starting to pick up with Mabachu. For Kirby Smart, he likes to get around these guys and see how they're wired. What's their personality like? How are they going to compete? What are they going to bring to that room? So I think part of it, bringing these guys in, is for him to just get a better feel for their personalities and the ones that he likes the most from an intangible standpoint, because these guys all have tangible traits. Those are going to be the ones that they're going to push for to try and run alongside Justice Terry and Elijah Griffin, who I think they're trending for. He's going to take his official visit for the Mississippi State game. So big weekend for Georgia on the defensive line. Starts with Justice Terry, but there's 3 other traitsy guys coming to campus.
All right. Now, how about CJ Wiley, the wide receiver committed to FSU, and the Sharks are circling around him. They're trying to, it's whether it's LSU, even Miami, Georgia, Auburn, everybody kind of kicking the tires on CJ Wiley. Do you expect him in Athens this weekend? Georgia and Auburn fans in Athens this weekend, listen up. Whether you're cheering on the Tigers or the Dogs on October 5, plan on a pit stop at the Whataburger food truck during your tailgate. Get ready to watch your team by securing an easy dub first with a hot, fresh Whataburger, that is. And no matter who comes out on top, when you take your team to Whataburger, you know you're going to feel like a winner by getting your food made the way you want it, fresh and hot every time, 24/7. I love the burgers, but I got to be honest, I'm more of a breakfast Whataburger guy. You bring me in there at 2 a.m., I'm either getting a taquito, bacon, potato, but I'm definitely getting a breakfast on a bun. I call it a bob. You can call it whatever you want. It'll get you right. Anyway, let me know. Are you guys more breakfast or burgers at Whataburger? Comment section below. I will see you at the game and see you at Whataburger.
Yeah, I think there's a good chance he ends up in Athens this weekend. His dad, look, he had to play a makeup game on Monday because of the hurricane last weekend. They play again on Friday. He's got the SAT on Saturday, his dad said, but it's not far to get to Athens. I wouldn't be surprised if we see him there. I know he's been invited. He's maintained communication with Coach Coley, Coach Kirby Smart and company. And look, he's still excited about his future with Florida State. You know, he believes in that program. His dad's like, look, this is why they're recruiting you, to help get that program back on track. He's been to a couple Seminoles games this fall, but he is definitely keeping some programs warm, Georgia included. And so get them back on campus, get them around the commits, get them around the program, and remind them why Georgia football is so dominant every year. If he shows up, it's certainly really game on in this recruitment, because it's one thing to have conversations with programs. It's another thing to get on their campus and get around their coaches and be able to have in-person discussion and dialogue.
All right, this Saturday at about 11 a.m. Central, Ousmane Kromah is going to make his decision, one of the top running backs in America. And for much of his recruitment, at least in the spring and summer, Georgia was kind of on the outside looking in of probably Florida State, Auburn, maybe even Tennessee. But you'd been saying it since about July. Hey, watch Georgia, because if they put their pedal to the gas here on this Ousmane Kromah recruitment, they can land him. Well, Steve, we're about 48 hours out from Kromah's decision. What do you think Georgia is expecting on Saturday?
Well, over the last few weeks, Georgia has hit the gas on this recruitment, had Kromah in for a game a couple weekends ago. There was a lot of positive Georgia buzz coming out of that experience, but then he returned to Auburn, return to Florida State. And it just kind of depends on who you ask, right? If you ask people around Georgia, they feel good about where they stand with Kromah. Yes, people around Auburn, same thing. And Auburn's prioritized him for a long time. But people around the school, talking with our colleague Chad Simmons, who's kind of been the lead reporter on Kromah, he gets a Georgia vibe from people around Kromah's school. So we'll see what he does on Saturday. He's still being positive with Auburn, still being positive with Georgia, obviously. So this is a recruitment where we'll just see who at the end of the day he was being more honest with.
Right. Georgia fans, let us know how we feeling about Kromah's decision on Saturday. Also, give us a score prediction for Auburn and Georgia